All right, so when you purchase Bootcamp, you get a new member benefit, which is our trade tracker and journal. Once you complete all the training, you're going to want to get this set up with a free Airtable account. All right, so click the link I provided you and then click Copy Base. This should open up your account and put this database into your account. All right, let me give you a lay of the land. So it should say Trade Journal, and then these are your main navigation buttons: data, automations, interfaces, and forms. Once again, all of this is filled out for you to get you set up and rolling. If there are any tweaks or changes you want to make, those are on you. If you want to change the name of your journal, I think you can just click this little caret here, and yeah, you can type right there and change the name of the journal. Put it your name journal, okay? So we are in the data tab, and this is your typical looking spreadsheet, okay, with columns and rows. And I have already programmed these columns to match our system, okay? And then we take this spreadsheet and we can create a form. So let's go to the forms. So here's the trade ticket form. This is the form that matches the spreadsheet we just looked at. So you can come up here and hit share form. It'll give you a link here, and you can copy that link, and then I can come up here and paste it into the address bar, and there is that form. This is basically all the columns in a form, okay? And the way I would do this, let's say you had a single screen you were trading on, okay? I would take this form and I would make it long and skinny, just squeeze in the edges. I would have my DOM here, and I would have my trading view here. That way, as I'm charting and trading, I can be filling out my trade ticket and check marking boxes along the way, taking screenshots and dragging that screenshot in here. I'm on a Mac, and whenever we do a screenshot, the screenshot will show up for a second right here. You can just grab it and slide it over there and drop it into this form, and it will be part of the record. So it's going to put the date. It's going to be which session, ETH AM. So, like 6 in the morning. That's the extended trading hours in the morning. The AM is when we're on Zoom. Lunch is after Zoom and before the silver bullet hour. And then there's the power hour, the final trading of the day. And then there's the afternoon/evening session. Let's say you're trading the Asia session. Well, that'll be ETH PM. Did you go long or short? We want to track that, okay? We want to track your longs versus shorts during the AM session, during the silver bullet session, during the overnight session. We want that data. Well, you want that data because you want to improve. Trend. Were we with the trend? Was I with the trend parabolically? Were we just in chop? Was it a counter trade? Was I counter to parabolic? Now, you don't actually have to click the box, by the way, guys. You can actually click the word, and I find that much easier when selecting this, okay? So just click the word if you want it. What is the entry? By default, the 3-minute entry is going to be selected. But if you want to change that, hey, I took a 1-minute entry. Check the 1 minute. Was it a discretionary trade? Was it a daily level, 1 hour, 4 hour? This is just our primary initial entry criteria. The second one, was it a backside? Was it a middle backside? Was it a front side? Was it a break level? What about any additional things? Was it single print at the half back that was at the opening with VWAP as a backup, and you want to check mark these boxes? Feel free to check mark those boxes, because maybe after 500 transactions, 500 trades, you might want to go in and say, how well do I do when VWAP is involved? How well am I doing if there's a fair value gap involved? You can do that sort of advanced analytics later, but you can't do it if you don't grab the data. Was it a win, loss, or a miss? I track misses. If you don't want to track misses, I'll show you how to delete that field. How many contracts did you take? Did you over leverage? How many points? For example, if I hit win, it's going to say how many positive points. If I hit loss, it's going to say negative points, okay? What were the potential points had I played perfect chess? You won't have that filled out on every time, but you might fill that out as the day progresses. You might go back into the Airtable and find that trade and say, man, if I'd have played perfect chess, I could have had a 40 pointer. Come in here and type in that 40 pointer. Okay. How many running points did I capture? How do I grade my trade? You might have different, I'll show you how to tweak these things. Okay. Was it a perfect trade? Did I have a nice touch and go? Did I add to a winner? Did I add to a loser? And then here's the note box. This will be valuable later. You don't want to go back and refigure out what you were thinking. Go ahead and type it in here. The trade's over. Give yourself 2 minutes to fill out a trade ticket because this will be valuable data. As your trade's going on, take screenshots and drag them right here, and they will be added to the record. If you feel this record was important enough that you want to purposely point this record out, click this little important checkbox here, and it will be entered into the record as an important trade for you to review later. Press submit, and the form will reload. Like I said, I would just grab the edges of this window, squeeze them in, make it a nice tall vertical thing, find a place on your screen for it, and as soon as you enter a trade, go ahead and start clicking this information. Remember, just you can click the word. It makes it super, super simple. So let's come back over here to the data. Once again, this is dummy data, just to show the database. You want to come in here first and select the first record. Select all these records, right-click, and hit delete all selected records because you don't need them in your database. So if you want to tweak anything, so let's just go real easy. Let's come over here to how you grade your trade. Okay, these are the categories I put. You want to add an option here, type it out. You want to remove an option, just click the X. You don't like the way I worded something, change it. It's no problem. Come back over here. For example, the sessions. Maybe you want to name these differently. Maybe you just want to have overnight. You don't need to know whether it was ETH in the morning or ETH at night. I do because I'm really tired at night. So maybe I trade the ETH AM way better than I do the PM because I know me. I want to track my power hour trades. I want to track my silver bullet trades. I want to track my lunch. Maybe you want to track them a little differently. If you change anything here, by the way, it will automatically be changed on the form. Now, the automations. You won't have any automations in my humble opinion. Now, for example, I use Airtable database for my support ticket system. So if somebody submits a support ticket, it sends me an email. I also have it shoot me a text message, and I have it post inside of a secret channel inside of my Discord group so I can see it pop up. That's one of the ways I use automations. Interfaces. This is where you make that data look pretty. And I have done this out for you. Now, you might want to tweak and modify as your data grows, but I have different pages set up here. Here's the main dashboard. Here's stuff by trend, by entry, sessions, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. As you develop your data, this is where you're going to reference to see how well am I doing. You know what? It's Tuesday. Let me go to Tuesday. How well am I doing on Tuesdays? And you can add and delete and change all of these graphical things rather easily. You'll come here and click edit pages, and you'll be able to go in and edit these things, okay? It's beyond the scope of what we're currently doing here. If you ever need help on this, there's an Airtable community. There's tons of Airtable videos on YouTube. And if you really want me to do it, buy a Zoom package, and you and I will pop on Zoom and do this together. I'm okay with that, but I do not want to be your support for Airtable issues. It's beyond my bandwidth, but if you got a Zoom package and you wanted us to do that together during your Zoom session, I'm totally cool with that. But this is basically set up for you. To get back to the table, come here and click this and go to View Data, and it pops back up over here to the actual data. Now, you can create additional views here, which is very valuable. So let's do one. So this is where all the trades are. I want to right click and I'm going to hit duplicate view. Okay, so it's going to take that and duplicate the whole database real easy. I'm going to change the name of this. Let's just call this shorts longs. I wanted to just see a real quick snapshot of my shorts versus long. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. So I'm going to go to group. I want you to group it by shorts versus longs. Collapse all of those tables. Beautiful. You know what? The only thing I really want to see here, I don't need to see if it was short or long. I don't want to see the session. I don't want to see the day. I don't want to see this, or this. Points earned, points lost. I do want to see those. Let's take a peek at those. My screenshot, I might want to look. I don't need to know if it was an important. And now what I've done is I've really shrunk in that database and said, okay, after I'm done looking at this, maybe I want to look at my shorts versus longs. And now I can see that data real quick. I could see points earned. I can see real quick. The longs, I've made 25 points. The shorts, I've made 5 points. How about the losers? And then I can see the losers. Just a quick little snapshot. Now, a lot of this data is going to be available on your interfaces, but this is a way to create another view. So, for example, I created a gallery view right here for the important trades. So come in here and click important. And what I've done is I've went in and customized it and said, I want it to look like a gallery. And so these are just quick little cards. So you can create all kinds of different views with this data. Okay. So that is really cool. And it's a powerful feature of Airtable. Now let's look at Trade Journal. This is your private trade journal. Okay. This is not inside of the Discord group. This is just for you. Once again, there's dummy data here. You might want to select all of those, right click and hit delete all records, and it will delete all the records. So let's go to the forms and let's look at the trade journal. I'm going to copy this link again, copy link. Let me come up here and I'm going to paste this. So at the end of the day, you want to go to this form. If you have a Stream Deck, it makes it a very easy programmable key. Otherwise, you might want to save it as a bookmark. It's going to start out with the date. What are your notes? Good, bad, ugly, brutal honesty, and be kind to yourself. What's the biggest lesson you learned today? The quick, pithy lesson. What were your results today? What was your discipline today? Are there any screenshots? Do you want to put your P&L? Is this important that I want to review later? So let's go back over here into this area. Let's go back to the data. So I've created a gallery, which is basically all of your journal entries. What about the important ones? Man, because those are the ones we really wanted to pick out. Is there a reason I want to go back and review? What about the biggest lesson? How neat would this be to see this card with quite a few cards here, and it's just a quick, pithy, what was your biggest lesson? And you could read those before the market opened, okay? I think that might be a really neat way to do the trade journal. Once again, you can come in here and you can customize this any way you want. If there's some additional fields that you want, the only thing you need to make sure you do if you put an additional field, so let's right click and I can insert a field to the left or right. Okay. If you insert an additional field, you're going to want to go back to forms and add it. So here's the fields. Okay. And there's no hidden fields yet, but if I added a field, let's say I wanted to, how was my emotions that day? I have no clue. I don't know. It's going to be here as a hidden field, and you're going to want to click it or whatever, and it will put it in the form for you. It's real simple. It's not rocket science. So that is what this is. We've got a trade journal, and you got some trade analytics. This is set up and ready to go. If you need any customization, click around and play with it. I'm not really sure you can break it. If you come in and change some of the things like number of points earned, points lost, things like that, it very well could mess up the interface because this is taking data from those fields and creating a lot of these tables. So you just might want to be careful, which brings me to a very, very good thing. What I would do is I would click this. Can I duplicate the base here? Right here, duplicate base. Make you a copy of this without any data. That way you have a backup of this database easily. So duplicate this base. And how do we get there again? We hit this little caret, then we hit these 3 buttons, duplicate base. That way you have a backup without any modifications, okay? All right, guys, I hope you enjoy this. I can't wait to get feedback from you.